Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to introduce a person with us who is from Russia. The name is Madhav Murari Das, and he was born in Siberia and brought up in Moscow. By profession, he is a lawyer, and he specially came India for this podcast. And I would like to welcome Madhav Murari Das today with you. So, welcome, sir, in our podcast today. And now, my first question is for you to introduce yourself as a person to our audience.
Well, the introduction will be very simple. I was born in 1982 in Russia, and I was just a normal child, like all the childs are. And there was no sign that I will be following some kind of spiritual path. But in 2005 it all started. I started to listen classes, different classes, different lectures regarding Krishna consciousness. In February of 2006 I decided to join this movement. And of course someone can ask, why not Christianity? Why not Christianity? Because it is prominent. Christianity is prominent in Russia. Someone can ask, and the answer is that, well, I was observing. I'm not going to go in details. I was observing what's going on, and actually it didn't create any faith in my heart, and their way of worshipping also was quite boring for me. But when I joined ISKCON, I understood that actually it is a nice process of worshipping Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and it gives a lot of happiness and pleasure and fun.
That's great. Sounds good. So my second question is for you. As you said that you were a very simple child in your childhood, even you never knew that you would be the part of spirituality or that you would become the Krishna consciousness. Now the question is, everybody is in your family support you for this?
Well, initially they were surprised and I would say frightened, but after some time they have to accept. They have no choice. They have to accept. So our way is just to stick to spiritual life, to stick to spiritual path. And even if there are some obstacles regarding relationships with our relatives or any other obstacles, if we are determined, Utsaha nishchaya daryat. There is verse from Upadeshamrita, and this attitude is described. Utsaha, enthusiasm, and nishchaya means determination, and daryat means tolerance. So basically one can be Christian or Muslim or whatever, but these three things means enthusiasm, determination, and tolerance are needed on spiritual path. Otherwise, we will not succeed. It is quite important.
Great, sounds good. So now the question is for you. In schooling, that you completed your schooling from the same country. So in school, have you ever participated for those activities related to Krishna consciousness, or have you ever discussed with your friends, or you made your own circle of friends in school?
Well, you see, approximately in 1989, I think, 1989, I was just walking on the street and I saw the poster. I saw the poster. It was written, chant Hare Krishna. The whole Mahamantra was written there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it was written, chant holy names and be happy, and visit us. We have such and such address. And it was when I was 7 years old. And,
Only 7 years old?
Yeah, because again, I told you I was born in 1982. So in 1989, I was 7 years old. So I have seen this poster, and I asked my father what it is all about. He told, actually, it is Hare Krishnas. Hare Krishnas. That's all. And no more questions, no more interest. My father, he went to Moscow a few months back, and he have seen this Nagar Sankirtan in Moscow. And regarding that poster, later on, many years after, I have got to know that Jayapataka Swami's disciple, Jayapataka Swami's disciple Angira Gauranga Das, he was about to create ISKCON communities in our region in Siberia. He was traveling and creating these communities, and it was his business, it was his job. Because of him, I have seen this poster, and later on in 2006, I met him personally.
Great. So now the question is that at what age that you have decided to become spiritual, or that you came in spirituality?
Well, it's quite easy. If you want to get some reasonable result, good result in any field of life, you have to dedicate yourself, you have to put endeavors, you have to be absorbed. It can be in any professional field or in spiritual life. And so I decided that this lifestyle of a monk is suitable, and it is quite easy. You don't have any social obligations. You can dedicate your time, your efforts, your energy to spiritual life.
Okay, now the question is, how does spirituality work for the humanities?
We are all parts and parcels of Krishna. Human beings, birds, animals, insects, each and every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. So if we are trying to revive these relationships, we just come back to our original and natural position. It is troublesome to remain in a position which is not natural for us, So our founder Acharya of our movement, of ISKCON movement, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he gives an example of a fish which is not situated in the water, but which is taken out from the water. And of course, for the fish, it is not comfortable to be to remain outside the water. So the same way for living entity, it is natural to be in this spiritual atmosphere of Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternity, Chit means knowledge, Ananda means bliss. So we can experience this if we have spiritual life. If we don't have spiritual aspect in our life, we will be suffering in this atmosphere of Asat, Achit, Nirananda. Means no Sat, Achit, Asat means no eternity, means everything is perishable, and we look outside ourselves and we see everything is perishable, everything is destined to be destroyed. Our relatives are about to die, we ourselves are about to die.
Exactly.
Our material plans are about to to not to be fulfilled, but to be also to be destroyed and other things. But so this connection with something which is eternal, it helps one to be grounded. It helps one to be grounded in this life. So in Bhagavad Gita, I will show Bhagavad Gita to our audience. This Bhagavad Gita, very important. Bhagavad Gita as it is. As it is means that it has purports written by authoritative person, bona fide spiritual master. So there is a verse in this Bhagavad Gita number 6.47. Yoginam api sarvisham madgatenantar atmana Shradavan bhajatayumam sameyuktata. So Krishna himself, he says that the highest of the all yogis is one who has these close, intimate relationships within his heart with Krishna. So this bhakti yoga, this connection, yoga means connection, this yoga is very important to be grounded and to be protected from all kinds of stresses, anxieties, and so on, just because we are in our natural position, Satchitananda, because of chanting of the holy names.
Now, the question is that you said a lot of things about the Bhagavad Gita, as I know that you are the student of Bhagavad Gita as well. So now the question is, how does Bhagavad Gita work for the people to, overcome the stress and anxiety?
Bhagavad Gita.
As nowadays that we can see the people, around us in the society or the country or in the world, people are really, they are living the life under the pressure, or they are tensed somewhere, that is stressed. So how does this Bhagavad Gita help them to overcome all these anxiety and stress?
Well, first of all, Bhagavad Gita works in one's life if one allows it to work in his life. Like, for example, once Srila Prabhupada, he was asked by his disciples, is it true that spiritual master is sitting on the golden Vyasasana, golden throne in the heart of his own disciple? Is it true that spiritual master is sitting in the heart of his own disciple on the golden throne, on the golden Vyasasana? And Srila Prabhupada answered that, yes, it is true if you will allow me to enter there. So the same story with Bhagavad Gita, if one follows, if one accepts Bhagavad Gita, if one accepts sacred scripture, then it helps to overcome anxiety, stresses, and so on. And the mechanism is very simple.
Okay.
Why this stress, why this anxiety is created? It is described in another book, which we also published in BBT, in Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, Chaitanya Charitamrita. The mechanism, how mind works, is described here. And here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Anti Lila, we have verse which has a line, say balo, say manda, say manodharma. Manodharma, activity of the mind. Activity of the mind is that mind always saying, say bhalo, say manda. It is good, it is bad. And what is the criteria to understand what is good, what is bad? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he explains that one has plan how he is going to enjoy in this life.
So now okay.
So it is not the end of the explanation.
Okay, please.
He has a plan how to enjoy in this life. So according to this plan, the reality is divided in two parts. Well, actually in three parts. Those who are facilitating me with my plans to enjoy in this world, they are my friends, and I'm happy with them. And those who are working like obstacles, they are my enemies. And of course, there are some neutral people who don't help, but they don't create troubles. So because of that, we have stress. We have a particular plan, how to live, but we have our own plan, separate plan. And the solution is to accept spiritual path and to get to know what Krishna wants of us, and to make it priority in our life. Because if our priority is just my own idea how I'm going to become happy, then I will be in stress. But if I follow Krishna's plan, I'm trying to fulfill his will. Anyway, he is controlling everything.
Okay. Yeah.
So he is controlling everything. If I following his will, if I'm executing his plan, naturally I will be happy because everything is controlled by him, and it means that his plan will be executed anyway. My plan can be easily destroyed. His plan can be easily executed.
There.
Yeah, we have this famous Bengal proverb, Krishna Mare Rakeke, Krishna Rakya Marike, means if Krishna decided to kill someone, no one will protect him. If Krishna decided to protect someone, no one can kill him.
Can kill them.
Very simple.
Yeah.
So Bhakti Yoga, it is about this. We just have to get to know what Krishna wants from us according to particular time, place, circumstances, and
Right.
to follow this.
Very nice. Now the question is, it is very difficult to learn a language. As you have been born and brought up in that Russia. So now, was that difficult for you to just learn Sanskrit shlokas, or it was very difficult, I guess, right? So what was the time that you learned the things or slogans and slokas? Was that difficult for you to learn it, or at the time of spirituality, journey?
Well, it is two different subject matters, to learn shlokas and to learn Sanskrit language itself. Usually we don't learn Sanskrit language in ISKCON, but we learn particular shlokas, the most important shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, where the main ideas are described. And of course, it's quite, this book is not opened.
Oh, you can open.
I can open, okay. Anyway, I'm sure that you know that we have this word-by-word translation here, right? We have this word-by-word translation.
You can show our audience.
Yeah.
You can show our audience.
Yes. So we have this word-by-word translation here, for example. The verse is going on, and after the verse we have word-by-word translation, and because of that one can understand how this statement is constructed according to Sanskrit grammar. Of course, it doesn't give any knowledge of Sanskrit grammar itself. But anyway, some words from Sanskrit, like for example, jnana, knowledge, or shraddha, faith, or I don't know, shanti means peace, or what else?
Great.
Yoga.
Amazing.
Yoga means yoga. So in such way, one can quite easily
Understand it.
get to memorize some basic words, or for example, we have these words like Dhananjaya or Bharata, and Srila Prabhupada, he explains in the purport that actually it is the names of Arjuna.
And now the question is, as everyone has got a mentor in the life,
Again,
mentor.
mentor.
Everyone has got their mentor or guruji or
Okay.
teachers in the life.
Okay.
Now I just want to know who has been your teacher or mentor. I mean, whom you learned a lot of life lessons for the things.
Well, I've got initiation from His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And before that, we have such category of guru, which is called Vartma Pradarshika Guru. Vartma Pradarshika Guru means people who are practitioners of Bhakti Yoga, but at the same time they don't have 100% of spiritual realization. Means they are tasked just to show me the way, that you just follow that direction. You just join ISKCON, you just accept this spiritual truth.
Krishna Consciousness.
Yeah, that spiritual truth. So in that sense, there are few different devotees. It is not that he is just one. There are different devotees. We follow this spiritual path, and during different periods of our life, different senior devotees, they play this important role in our life.
Great. So now, so even I sometimes read it and I get good lessons out of that.
Okay.
So I just try to know the things and the message which Gita gives us. Now the question is for you. The question is a very is talk of the town. Nowadays, people lose their temper.
Okay.
People get angry very soon.
Yeah.
So how does this book, I mean Bhagavad Gita, help people to overcome their anger?
Oh, actually, anger. If
Anger.
to speak about Bhagavad Gita, if to speak about Kurukshetra battlefield, in this particular circumstances, anger is needed because one cannot fight without anger. In this particular case, it is needed.
So according to the Bhagavad Gita, I want you just please tell our audience what is anger management.
It depends on the nature. It depends on the nature of a person. For example, we know this story, at least it is quite well known, story of Dhruva Maharaj. Yeah, story of Dhruva Maharaj, who decided to get the whole universe as his kingdom. Because he was insulted by Suruchi. This story is described in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam. So he went to the forest according to the instruction of his mother Suniti. He went to the forest and he met Narada Muni, and Narada Muni told him, "You just relax. You've been offended, but you take it easy. It is our destiny. Just go back to your home. You're a child. Just play your toys. And then when you will become more mature, you can take all these austerities and all these things." But Dhruva Maharaj, he told that your advices are very nice, but this Kshatriya blood is there. I am not a Brahmana. Kshatriya blood is there. So I cannot accept this advice. I don't reject it. I understand the value of this advice, but I cannot accept it just because of my nature. So the conclusion from this story is that there are some people who are inclined to be angry. Some natural inclination. If someone has this inclination, he can just take a job where he can use it. I don't know, he can become policeman, or he can become something like this. Those who are dealing with criminals, for example, etc. There are some jobs where different natural inclinations according to our conditioning can be used.
Now, the last question which I want to know from you.
Okay.
What message you want to give to our students? As we have a lot of students across this country, or maybe there are other viewers that we have across the world as well. So, what message you want to give them for the Bhagavad Gita, right? To take this Bhagavad Gita in their life that can help them to overcome, or they can be like successful in their all the fields wherever they want to see their career. So, what message you want to give them by taking this Bhagavad Gita in their hands, or maybe they can follow the chapters, what Bhagavad Gita can change in the life?
Well, sometimes people consider Bhagavad Gita to be Indian sacred scripture. But Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he established International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And here on the pages of Bhagavad Gita, we cannot find a statement made by Krishna that this message is meant for Indians only. We cannot find this statement. Moreover, he gives this message in the presence of both armies, Pandavas and Kauravas, means he is not partial to anyone. It is for everyone. It is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But at the same time, even if we consider this message to be Indian, if we are Indian, then, well, conclusion is very simple. We should take it seriously. We should take it seriously. So the advice is that you please visit ISKCON temples and you get your own copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is. And I've heard just 1 or 2 days back, I've heard that usually you study just few chapters from Bhagavad Gita in your universities. Not the whole Bhagavad Gita, but few chapters. So I really suggest that the whole Bhagavad Gita should be studied, and it should be studied with purports given by authoritative spiritual master. He belongs to Parampara, Sri Guru Parampara, chain of disciplic succession. If we are trying to understand sacred scriptures without explanation of authoritative person, then we will be misled, because we have we have hundreds of purports written by people who just share their own thoughts, what this book is about. But actually, Krishna is one who knows what is this book about, because he is the author, because he is Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. He was telling this, he was giving this message, he knows. So this message should be accepted through Sri Guru Parampara, through bona fide spiritual master. And it also should be practiced. So 3 advices. The first advice, that one should accept it through Parampara with authoritative explanation. Advice number 2, one should practice. Means not just accept it as dry philosophy, but this philosophy should change our life. We should practice, we should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the advice number 3, everything takes time. It takes time to become graduated, it takes time to become professional, and it also takes time to get some fruits on this spiritual path. So one should be patient and enthusiastic and determined on spiritual path. Means if you don't feel something extraordinary, some ecstatic emotions just after 1 or 2 weeks after joining ISKCON, it is normal. We get these deep spiritual realizations after years and decades of spiritual life, but it is worthy to be done. It should be done.
So thank you so much, Madhav Murari Das ji, for giving your precious time for our audience for this podcast session. It was such a very beautiful session that we have conducted today, and hopefully the students must be enjoying this session, and they must be learning a lot of points or things and ideas to live your life with this Bhagavad Gita rules and regulations. When you follow it, then definitely you can have a lot of changes in your life. So thank you so much for this podcast session, sir.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.